Right, lads. Lrowser, one of our new housemates, who has a distinction of being the first person to financially support the channel with the super thanks, which I greatly appreciate. It shows that shows that it's not all for nothing, not just all for fun. Said he's having a problem with his Selnesya deck, that it gets pub stomped all the time. So today we're going to look at Sigarda, my Selnesya deck, and maybe I'll give him some ideas. Where to begin? Well, let's start with Sigarda, what she is. So Sigarda herself, 2 colorless, 1 green, double white, 5/5, flying hexproof angel. Spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents. Alright, so she does a lot. And for not that high mana cost. She is kind of old. She was originally printed in Innistrad, what, 11 years ago? I didn't like the Innistrad foils. A lot of the foils, probably depending on the region, look like they have a layer of plastic. It doesn't look... This pops, this shines, this Ultimate Masters edition. The original edition did not do that. Sigarda started as a green-white, let's play with lands, let's experiment with lands deck. I was running things like Recross the Paths, Cartographer, Restone Portal, but it quickly evolved into something else. It quickly evolved into green-white, one-sided border wipe, which nobody expects in these colors. So she's highly effective. Let's put her right there. So I've got a Voya token. I made this myself. It's just a... somebody else did this. So I found this online. I didn't even go to Magic Set Editor to make this. I just printed it as it is, glued it to a card, because I've got Tolsmir, Friend of Wolves, and he makes a Voya token. So I've got her specific token there. So let's get into the deck. I'll show you what it does. Starting off, nothing terribly exciting. The Steward of Elrond. He's a 1 green, 1 white, 2/2 Vigilant Knight, Druid Knight, human. Tap and add 1 green. So he can attack. You can tap him later for 1 green during your second main. You can tap him during combat for some combat trick after he blocks. He's got some versatility. He's something that I often think of taking out, and I just never do because he works. He does what he needs to do, plus that cool Greg Staples art that's just beautiful. It's just a really cool looking card. The other thing about it is I haven't looked through Sigarda for months. I haven't made any changes to her for a long time. She's one of my oldest decks. I've had her for at least 10 years. Forest, Horizon Canopy. So this goes back to the play with lands. And of course I just kept the lands that fit the deck. Make it work. You can pay 1 life to add green or white to your mana pool. Or you can spend 1 tap, sacrifice, draw a card. And of course they've made the full cycle of these cards. I don't think they've made them for the allied colors. No, the enemy colors. I don't think they've made them for the enemy colors, have they? Actually, they did. There is Sunbaked Canyon. There is the black one. So yeah, they've completed the cycle. That's what I get for having too many cards to think about. Melira, Sivok Outcast. Now, she's actually key in the deck. And you'll see why once I get to the card. So 1 in green for a 2/2 Human Scout. You can't get poison counters. Creatures you control can't have -1/-1 counters placed on them, which is key, which is important. Creatures your opponent's control lose infect. So she does a lot for only 2 mana. Austere Command. Yeah, I'm still running Austere Command. This is another card. I've talked about this before. Cards that used to be ubiquitous. You would always see them. You would sit down and somebody would play it. Somebody would have in their deck. And people just quit playing them. They just fell out of favor. Austere Command. 4 colorless, white sorcery. Choose 2. Either blow up all the artifacts, all the enchantments, kill all the small creatures, kill all the big creatures. So you can use it to blow up all the artifacts and enchantments, or kill all the creatures. That's usually what happens. Usually people kill all the creatures. Forest, Sungrass Prairie, signed. I'd really love to get one of these foil. but they're they're not cheap. Not anymore. I missed the boat. When I first started playing Commander years ago, I was just hoovering up foils. And there's so many foils I wanted that I couldn't possibly get them all. And starting, with the money that was dropped on us during the COVID shenanigans, everything started jumping in price because people had money, and a lot of people spend it on cards. So I think this is 100 euros for a foil one now. So I missed the boat on it. They've reprinted it, I think. I don't know if they printed a foil version, but at least this is signed. So you spend 1 and you add green and white to your mana pool. Birthing Pod, 3 and 1 green or 2 life, depending on how quickly you want to play it. And then 1 and green or 2 life, depending on how quickly you want to activate it. Sack a creature. Go find a creature with the creature you sacrifice CMC +1 and put it into play. Search the library, put it directly into play, then shuffle. Only as a sorcery. I believe this is still banned in Modern because it's just too good. High Market, tap for colorless or sacrifice creature, gain 1 life. Excuse me. Sylvan Safekeeper. This is actually one of the newer additions to the deck, I think. Did I have a... Why do I have a Modern Horizons 3 version? Did I add it in recently? I must have added it in recently. So 1 green for a 1/1 human wizard. Sack a land. Just sack it. He doesn't tap. He just sacrifice land. Target creature control gains Shroud until end of turn. So he protects anything I need to protect as far as creatures go. Of course, I have to eat a land, but that's not really a problem in this deck. Dark Steel Plate. It's indestructible. Equipped creature is indestructible. And it's really pretty. Do I still need this in the deck? I mean, normally I put it on Sigarda. Normally it's here for her. So as I go, I'm also thinking of, because it's been a long time since I've looked at this deck, I just wonder if there's any changes I want to make. I'm not going to make any changes now. I'm just going to think about it as I go through. Swiftfoot Boots. Yeah, 2 colorless. Drop into play. Equip 1. Equip creature is hexproof and haste. I do not have Lightning Greaves because it's very important that the creature has hexproof, not Shroud, as you'll see. Heartmender. 2 double green, double white hybrid for a 2/2 elemental. Beginning of your upkeep, remove a neg1 counter from each creature you control, and it has persist. Why do I have all these things that stop or remove neg1 counters? There's Tolsimir. Oh, it's Tolsimir Wolfsblood. Tolsimir, friend of wolves, does something else. 4. 1 green, 1 white. 6 mana. 6 mana for a 3/4 elf warrior. Your other green dudes get +1/+1. Your other white dudes get +1/+1. Your green and white dudes get +2/+2. So Sigarda, with Tolsimir out, becomes a 7/7 hexproof flyer. She becomes a 3-hit commander. Tap. Put your Voya token into play. Command Tower. Pretty basic. Garruk Wildspeaker. Another card that you really don't see anymore. Another card that used to be played as much, if not more, than Austere Command, and now I don't see him. Nobody plays him anymore. 2 green. +1, untap 2 target lands. Neg1, put a 3/3 green beast creature token onto play, into the battlefield. Or Neg4, creatures control get overrun. +3/+3 and trample until end of turn. Overrun itself being a sorcery. 3 colorless. Is it double green or triple green? I haven't played Overrun in a long time. I think it's 6 mana. I think it's 3 colors and 3 green. Creatures you control gain +3/+3 and trample. So you neg4 him and you get an overrun. Excuse me. The first of the 5, yes, she has 5 game changers. Sigarda is officially, this is another reason I'm going through the deck. Sigarda is officially bracket 4. To get her down to bracket 3, I need to take out 2 game changers. I have been considering that. I'll probably take out Ancient Tomb and replace it with just Temple of the False God, which I know it sucks, but it kind of fits the bill. It kind of does what Ancient Tomb does. Not as immediately, but it kind of does. But then I have another Ancient Tomb that I'm not playing. So, what do I do with it? Maybe I could buy list it, and it's probably kind of spendy right now, but I love the art. Oh, it's just so cool. And the flavor text, there is no glory to be gained in the kingdom of the dead. Stirring Wildwood comes into play tapped. Tap for green or white. Spend 1 colorless green and white, 3 mana total, until in turn it becomes a 3/4 green and white elemental with reach. And it's still a land. Sun Titan. Oh yeah, hello Sun Titan. 4 double white, 6/6 giant vigilance. Whenever he comes to play or attacks, you may return a permanent card in your graveyard with CMC 3 or less back to play. Was this a secret lair? Yeah, this is a secret lair. I don't know which one. One of the pretty ones. Forest, Behemoth Sledge. Yeah, at this point you're seeing a lot of cards that nobody plays anymore. I mean, she's been around for 10 years, and she's effective. She's a well-tuned, well-oiled engine. So I haven't had cause to really make any serious changes for a long time because she works. 1 colorless, green, white. Equip 3. Equip creature gets +2/+2, lifelink, and trample. Planes. I don't know if you noticed, but I have the Bitech planes from Lorwyn. They're just, I love Omar Ryan's art. Omar Ryan and Larry McDougall, they're not really new anymore because this is 9 years old now. They've been in the game for a while. But I just love their art. And that's another reason I keep getting so many cards, is because I love the art. And I collect cards for the art. In fact, when I was on the submarine USS Ohio, we had this guy, Camrath, this machinist mate. He only collected cards of the art, only. He didn't give a shit what they're worth. He didn't give a shit what they did in the game. If the card had a picture he liked, he wanted it. So he had a trade binder. And he would just 1 for 1. He did not care about the value at all. And you couldn't convince him otherwise. But all the other Magic players, we all knew. So if anybody traded with Camrath, if he wanted a 50-cent card and he had a $5 card in his binder that he didn't like the art on, but it had a good effect in the game, you better force him to take some extra stuff. You just, come on, take some more stuff. Just put some more stuff in your trade binder so you can trade it for other things you want. Just do that. Otherwise, they'd get, you ripped off Camrath. He ripped himself off. Well, next time, give him free shit. Got it? Yeah. Okay, back to the deck. 2 colors and a white for Teferi's protection. Instantly, your life total can't change. You have protection of everything. All permanents you control phase out. Exile it. That said, it doesn't protect you from poison counters. If your opponent is playing some poison proliferate deck, and you've got a poison counter, you can get proliferated on, even though you're protected by Teferi. He doesn't protect you against proliferation of poison. It's a corner case, but it is there. Woodleaf Liege. 1 colorless, green, white, hybrid. For 4/4 Elf Knight. Just like Voya, your other green dudes get +1/+1, your other white dudes get +1/+1, green and white dudes. So if Woodleaf Liege is down, and Voya, or Tolsimir is down, she's at 9/9. Bang. If a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to throw away Woodleaf Liege, put it back into play instead of putting it in your graveyard. And it's not an optional ability. You have to do it. It doesn't say you may. Knight of the Reliquary. So she's always been in the deck because she finds lands. Remember, this was originally a play with lands deck. 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white. 2/2 Human Knight. She's another card. Used to be really popular in Modern. In fact, I have a Modern Bant Nightfall deck built around her. But I don't think anybody plays those anymore either. I can't remember the last time I saw a Knight of the Reliquary on the table opposite me. It's been a long time. The last time I saw it was because somebody was playing my Bant Nightfall deck, and I was playing one of my other Modern decks, and we were having a Modern game. That's the last time I saw her play against me. Sack a forest or plains, go find a land card, any land, put it in play, then shuffle your library. Lathio Bounteous. This is one of the newest cards in the deck. This is one of the latest additions. And this came out 3 years ago. So I think I made this change about 1 year ago. So Lathio, 2 colorless, 1 green and white, 2/2 Legendary Unicorn. Lifelink. Beginning of each end step. If you gain life this turn, distribute up to that many plus and plus encounters among any number of other target creatures other. Lathio will not buff herself. She will buff your other teammates. Linvala, Keeper of Silence. Yet another card that I just don't see played anymore. And if you're getting a pub stomp there, Lrowser, and you don't have Linvala, you might want to get one. So what does she do? For the low, low price of 2 colorless and white, you get a 3/4 Flying Angel. And activated abilities of creatures your opponents control cannot be activated. Nope. So they can't even tap, even Foya, for example, or Tolsimir, even Tolsimir. Tapping him to create the token, if somebody else had Linvala, that is shut off. I cannot create the token. Now, keep in mind, a lot of creatures, the value is their coming into play ability, their enter the battlefield ability. But there's still a lot of creatures with activated abilities, and she says, fuck off. They can't do it. Iganjo Castle. It's a plains that you can spend a white, tap it. Prevent the next 2 damage will be dealt to target legendary creature this turn. 2 damage isn't a lot, but sometimes it can be key. I mean, if I've got Ganjo Castle and Sigarda out, somebody attacks me with a 6/6, well, she can block it. Neither creature will die because I'll prevent 2 damage, and her 5 is not enough to kill the 6/6. But those little advantages. Lurking Predators. Oh yeah, this card, this hasn't been reprinted for a I think it got another printing after this in a commander set, so it's flat. I think this is the only foil printing. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. But what does it do? 4 colorless green enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, cast, not resolves a spell, cast, show off the top card of your library, and it's not a may. If it's a creature card, you have to put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, you may put the card on the bottom of your library. There's one game I had Lurking Predators and Aura Shards out. And if you don't know what Aura Shards is, you should see it soon. I think I still have it in this deck. Nobody likes Aura Shards. None of your opponents like it. You will love Aura Shards. Your opponents won't. It says, whenever any creature comes into play on your side, you can blow up an artifact or enchantment. So, more creatures you get, and it doesn't care how the creature came into play. If you cast Acacian Town and you get 4 1/1 citizens, then Aura Shards triggers 4 times. All it cares about is creatures coming into play. And then you can destroy 4 artifacts or enchantments. But during this game, I had Lurking Predators and Aura Shards, and my opponents did not like Aura Shards at all. So they were putting all their attention on it. And they're forgetting about Lurking Predators. So they kept casting spells, and I kept just flipping over the top card. Sometimes it'd be a creature, sometimes it wouldn't. And then somebody said, how many creatures do you have? No, it's like 10. I think 10? How the hell did you get 10 creatures? You guys keep casting spells. You're worried about Aura Shards. You forgot about Lurking Predators. Oh, god damn it. So, don't underestimate this card. Yeah, 6 mana can be a lot. But when it's getting you free creatures, and you have ways of manipulating the top of your deck to make sure there's a creature up there, and it doesn't matter how much the creature costs. If you have Cosmic Butcher of Truth on top of your library, and somebody casts a spell, and you flip over Cosmic, and he costs 12, he just comes into play. Now, you don't get his cast trigger, you just put it into play. But still, for free? Free is good. Plains, Canyon, Serpenton, Terrain. So it taps for colorless, or you spend 2 colorless, tap it, or 2 mana of any color, tap it. Until end of turn, your creatures have flash. So, this is a reserve list card that's it's kind of in a weird place. A lot of people really like it, and it was really popular for a while. But as more creatures natively had flash, got printed, it kind of fell off people's radar. People quit paying attention to it. So I think it's still cheap. I think you can still pick one up for not a whole lot. Now again, if your deck has a lot of creatures flash, or you're playing some flavor of blue, and you could put in Teferi, and he gives all your creatures flash, you really don't need it. Brushland, Original Ice Age, Sunpetal Grove, Angel of Finality, 3 colors, 1 white, 3/4 flying angel. When she hits play, exile cards from target player's graveyard. Just bang, bye-bye graveyard. Wasteland. I don't often play land destruction in any of my commander decks, because out of all the lands I play with, there's only one guy that really plays a lot of bullshit lands that I would want to destroy, and that guy's me. In fact, most of the other lads, they started playing a little bit of land destruction. They would pick up a strip mine in a trade or get it out of pack and start running it because of me. And I have Wasteland here because of the lands theme that she used to have, and I just love the art. I just love this old Una Fricker art. So you just sacrifice Wasteland, destroy target non-basic land, and until such time you can tap it for colorless mana. Tower of the Magistrate. Oh, who was it? Let's see. Let me just... It wasn't Phlogiston. It was one of our other housemates. Who was it that started buying these because of me? Was it... Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments to remember his name, because it's pretty funny. Crap, I'm not seeing it. Oh, Sigmund Kovacs. So Sigmund Kovacs, who apparently loves the Mothman, he said because of me he started running a Tower of the Magistrate in all of his monocolored decks. And it's just so good. And it's so... Sometimes it won't be good. Sometimes it'll suck and it won't do anything. Other times, it'll be just exactly what you need. So you tap for 1 colorless mana, or 1 colorless tap, target creature gains protection from artifacts until end of turn. And you think, so what? You don't have any artifact creatures in your deck. So why would you need to do that? Or people don't run artifact creatures that much. Why would you need to give a creature protection artifacts? What if their creature is carrying a sword and wearing dark steel plate? You give them protection from artifacts until end of turn, and they drop the sword and take off the plate. And you can do that when they're running at you. So some goblin puts on plate, picks up 2 swords and a battle axe, and is coming at you, screaming in fury, and you give him protection from artifacts just to help him out. You're giving him protection. He drops his swords and takes off his armor, but he's still running at you. So kill him. Weather Wayfarer, 1 white, 1 white tap, go find a land, any land, show it off, put it in your hand, then shuffle. But you can only do it if an opponent controls more lands than you. Exploration, 1 green, you can play an additional land on each of your turns. No restriction, no, only if an opponent controls more lands than you, none of that, just You play 2 lands per turn if you are exploring. Plains, Cavity Township. I can put +1/+1 encounters in all my creatures by spending 2 colorless, green-white, and tapping this land. Guardian Project. 3 in the green. Basically it says, since it's a commander deck, whenever a non-token creature comes to play under your control, draw a card. Because you will not have any creatures of the same name in play or in your graveyard. Because it's a fucking commander deck. And it doesn't care how the creature got there. It doesn't say, whenever you cast a creature, if a creature resolves after you can, none of that. Whenever you successful, none of that. So if I've got Lurking Predators, and I've got Guardian Project, I flip over the top card if it's a creature, put in a play, and the Guardian Project says, hey, a creature came into play, draw a card. And it's not a may. You have to draw the card. Buried Ruin. This is here for something specific, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Esper Sentinel. This guy's weird because, and he's damaged too, which is why I still have him. So I got this out of a pack, and I didn't understand really that he'd be so good. I didn't really see where I needed him. And a lot of you that have played with him or against him are thinking, are you out of your fucking mind? You didn't realize how good this guy was? In Modern, yes, I did. In Commander, no, I did not. So Esper Sentinel, 1 white for a 1/1 human soldier. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, and that's the thing, because so many Commander decks run such creature heavy, I didn't think it would trigger that often, not with the lads I play. But in practice, it's been pretty goddamn good. Especially if I can make him more powerful. So, whenever they cast their first non-creature spell each turn, you draw a card unless they pay X, where that's his power. I open them out of a pack, and because I did not see why a place for him in a commander deck, I try to buy list him. And because of this damage that you can see along the top edge, there's some chips there. And that's how I got it out of the fucking pack. Wizard's quality control is fantastic. Attorney He said, no, we can't take it. I said, okay, fine. Brought him home and thought, I'll just shove him into Sigarda and see how he works. And he worked pretty damn good. Harmonic Sliver. This used to be really expensive. This used to be something like a 20-euro card. And then the price dropped like a rock after a couple of reprints. And he fell out of favor. And people quit for multiple reasons. One, fewer people were playing slivers because they were getting so expensive, especially Sliver Queen. So slivers in general kind of fell out of favor. Plus slivers in general are seen as a pub stop deck, a kill on sight deck. So if somebody sits down to play slivers, the whole table goes at them if they know what they're doing. Unless somebody's playing something even worse. Then maybe the sliver guy gets a reprieve for a couple turns. But anyway, Harmonic Sliver. 1 colorless green-white for a 1/1 sliver. All slivers have, when this creature comes to play, destroy an artifact or enchantment. And you have to. So if you're the only one with an artifact or enchantment, you don't want to put him into play. Just keep that in mind. It's not a may. And he's the only sliver in the deck. But I plan to reuse him. You have my Cradle of Growth. Each land is a forest in addition to its other types. So this works really well with Knight of the Reliquary. If this is out, I can sacrifice any land, because they're all forest, and go find something else. Remember the Fallen? Okay, Remember the Fallen is in here. It's 2 colors, white for a sorcery. Choose one or both. Pull a creature out of your graveyard, back to your hand, or an artifact out of your graveyard, back to your hand, or both. And this is here for the same reason Buried Ruin is here, so we'll set it aside. Talisman de Unity. 2 colors. Ajoutez un coloré à votre réserve. Yeah, my French is really bad. It's really rusty. The French I learned is from spending 3 months on a farm in France when I was working at a place that just was so toxic. I've got to get the fuck out of here. I've got to go somewhere else. So I took 3 months unpaid leave and went to work on a farm in France. And I chose a farm where they spoke no English. I would have to learn some French. And it worked. I learned some French. Or you could tap for green or white. And if you do, it deals a point of damage to you. The rocks are actually what I'm thinking of taking out, if anything. In addition to 2 of the game changers to drop her down from bracket 4 to 3. Not that we really do the brackets, but Cube has been complaining lately about some of the game changers I have. Even in my bracket 3 decks that only have 3 game, oh, that's a game changer. Oh, really? Mr. Sonic the Hedgehog dropping fucking Jin-Gitaxias Core Augur on turn 6 because you have so many goddamn treasure tokens? You're complaining about that? Maybe I should just not care. Step up my game. Temp with Discovery. I love it. 3 and a green. Go find a land card, put it in play. And then look at the other 3 lads sitting at the table with you. Listen to them as they start the discussion. Where the one guy who's mana screwed starts saying, I really need the land, I'm going to do it. And the other guy who's not mana screwed and doesn't want to play any Prisoner's Dilemma says, don't do it. He will get 2 bullshit lands, don't do it. And the other guy will say, I'm really mana screwed. I'm doing it. So I'm getting 2 lands, any land, and they come into play untapped. And then the middle guy, who's not mana screwed, doesn't really need the land, and he's sitting on the fence. And if he joins the guy who's mana screwed and says, fuck it, I'll get another land too, why not? Then you get 3 lands, and then the last guy, the holdout, the one that knows what he's doing, the one that doesn't want to play Prisoner's Dilemma. If he sees these other 2 fools going to get land, he's going to say, fuck it, I'll get a land too, god damn it. Because really, what's the difference between me getting 3 bullshit lands and me getting 4 at that point, right? I love Temp with Discovery. Now here, I mean, you saw Austere Command. So you saw 1 board wipe. Here is where we really get into the deck being one-sided board wipe. Deck. Megita the Lion. I'd wager that most of you lads that have gotten this far, and it's now 33 minutes into the video, have never seen this guy before. And are wondering, what the fuck is this? Spell Shaper? What the fuck is that? So Spell Shaper is something for Prophecy where you paid a cost, threw cards away from your hand, and got an effect. So Megita the Lion, he's a 3/3 for 3 colors, double white. Not great stats. But you spend 2 colors, white, throw away 2 cards from your hand, and Wrath of God. Except for him. So he's a repeatable Wrath of God at instant speed. He doesn't say activate only as a sorcery. So I can activate him whenever he doesn't have Summoning Sickness, whenever he's ready, and I have the mana and 2 other cards in my hand. He's ready. I've got 3 cards in my hand. I've got mana up. Somebody attacks. Maybe they don't attack me. Maybe I just don't like what they have in their army. Okay, I'm just going to Wrath of God. There we go. There we go. This is the key card in the deck. Cauldron of Souls. 5 colorless. Choose any number of target creatures. All those creatures gain persist until end of turn. So if they would die, they come back with neg-win counters on them. They do go to the graveyard, so they do trigger any entering the graveyard effects. Any into the graveyard triggers go off, but they come back with neg-win counters. So Megita the Lion, I can throw away cards, Wrath of God at instant speed, and in response to his trigger, give all my creatures persist. So my creatures will come back. And with Heartmender and other effects I have, I can take off those neg-win counters. Or if Melira is in play, she says they can't have them in the first place. So if Melira Silvok Outcast is in play, and I do all this, the creatures come back without the neg1 counters because they can't have them. And that's why these cards are in here. Cauldron of Souls is so key to my strategy that I have two ways of getting it back. Buried Ruin, to sacrifice it, return an artifact card from graveyard to your hand because it will get destroyed. Or Remember the Fallen, return an artifact card from your graveyard to your hand to get back to Cauldron of Souls. Now that you've seen that, now we really will start getting into the other additions, the other things that play into this idea. So Safi Eriksdotter, green-white for a 2/2, and you just sacrifice her. She can be tapped, and you can still sacrifice her. She dies. And you target a creature. When target creature is put in your graveyard from play this turn, return it to play. So she can save a creature. And Sun Titan can bring her back. And other things can bring her back. Wall of Blossoms, 1 in the green for 0/4 wall. When it comes into play, draw a card. This is in here. I mean, in the first few turns, it's a decent speed bump. And then later, once things start dying and coming back, it's card draw. Sigarda, Font of Blessings. 2, 1 green, 1 white for 4/4 flying legendary angel. Other permanents you control have hexproof. You can look at the top card of your library whenever you feel like it, and you can cast angels and humans from the top of your library. So she gives your other permanents hexproof. Oh, I was thinking of the other Sigarda. I think I've got all 3 Sigardas in here. Sigarda.deck. So she's really cool. Soul Ring, old revised version. Beast Within, 2 colors, 1 green. Destroy any permanent land. You can destroy land if you need to. And they get a 3/3 beast token. The deck used to have Crucible of Worlds. Once I found Conduit of Worlds and I obtained a copy, I replaced it. So 2 colors, green, green. You could play lands from your graveyard. So Wasteland, I can bring it back. Fetch land, I can bring it back. The lands I sacrifice with Crop Rotate, which I'm probably going to take out. Knight of the Reliquary, I can start bringing them back. Choose target non-land permanent graveyard. If you've not cast a spell this turn, you can cast that card, but nothing else, and only as a sorcery. So it does double duty. So instead of 3 colorless, for the additional price of 1 green, 4 instead of 3, you get a Crucible Worlds with more upside. Dauntless Escort, 1 colorless, 1 green and white for a 3/3 Rhino Soldier. Something else you don't see played anymore. Like I said, probably half the non-land cards are cards that used to be popular and just aren't played anymore. But Dauntless Escort, you just sacrifice him. And just like Safi Eriksdotter, he can be tapped and you can still do it. And your creatures become indestructible. So this is another way to support Mickey to the Line, to support Austere Command. So if he's in play, I can Austere Command, kill all the creatures, sack him, and all my creatures gain indestructible so they don't die. Or in Wreath of Vastwood, comes to play tapped, taps for green, put a +1/+1 counter each green creature that entered the battlefield this turn. It works really well with Cauldron of Souls. Kutzo, Malamet Exempt. This is the newest card in the deck. This is the newest edition. 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white, 3/3 Kitty Warrior. Your opponents can't cast shit during your turn. Whenever one or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I've got a few ways of giving my creatures +1/+1 counters. And I've got Wiltleet Fleege and Tolsimir. So I've got multiple ways of giving my creatures greater power than their base power. So he represents a way of having some more card draw. Solemn Simulacrum. Yeah, 4 colors, 2/2. Comes into play, go find a basic land, put it in play tapped. When he croaks, draw a card. Excuse me. Yeah, Guy's Cradle. I get kind of nervous about this now because the price is so high. I started thinking that I should look at all my cards over 100 euros and start getting Chinese proxies of them. Because when you've got a deck that, I mean, is it over 600 euros now? It's over 5. And it's signed. So if something happened to this, I'd be really, really upset. So I'm thinking, and I haven't acted on it yet, maybe I should just start getting proxies and putting them in my my decks, so I don't risk my more valuable cards. Anyway, Guy's Cradle comes into play. Tap it for 1 green for each creature you control. Sigarda doesn't really need it. To be honest, this would be better in a token deck. It'd be better in a deck with more creatures. But she's always had a Cradle. When I first built her, Cradle was still only about 50 euros. It had not reached the heights it's at now. So I got one for her, and she's always had one. So she doesn't need it, but it works. It works well enough, and it's kind of neat to neat to have it. Canopy Vista comes to play tapped, lets you have 2 or more basic lands. Okina, Temple to the Grandfathers. So like Iganjo Castle, it only gives a little bonus, a tiny bonus, but sometimes that little bonus can be clutch. Spend 1 green tap, target legendary creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It'd be nice if it said any creature, but it doesn't. Other than that, it's just a forest, a legendary forest. Yeah, Shalai. So not Sigarda, Shalai. That's what I was thinking of. Kosale Predmage. He's exalted. Green-white for a 2/2 kitty wizard. Spend 1 colorless, sack him, blow up an artifact or enchantment. And just like the other 2 cards I talked about, Dauntless Escort and Safi, he does not tap to do it, so he can actually be tapped and you can still do it. Shalai, Voice of Plenty. 3 colors, 1 white for a 3/4 legend or angel. You, Planeswalker's Scroll, and other creatures' Scroll have hexproof. So if I have Sigarda, Font of Blessings, and Shalai, they protect each other. So my entire team has hexproof. 4, green, put a +1/+1 counter on every creature control. That's another reason to keep the Cradle. So I can keep putting +1/+1 counters on my creatures. Light and Tutor, another game changer. 1 white, go find an artifact or enchantment card, show it to everybody, shuffle, and put that card on top. This is to find Cauldron of Souls. Fertilid, 2 and a green, comes to play 2 +1/+1 counters. 1 green, 1 colorless, pluck a +1/+1 counter off of his ass, go find a basic land, put it in play tapped. And it's target player. So if somebody is mana screwed and you've got Fertilid and you don't think that they're going to screw you over, you can help them go find a land for a favor. You can say, hey, you're kind of mana screwed. If I let you go find any basic land you want, what are you going to do for me? And make a deal from there. It's always good to have a couple political cards that you can use to do some horse trading during a game. Route. Hang on, let me get a sip of coffee. My throat's getting dry. Coffee in the dragon cup. Route. Sorcery. 3 double white. Destroy our creatures that can't be regenerated. Basically, Wrath of God. You can play it as an instant if you play 2 more, though. In a way, I should replace this with the Outlaws of Thunder Junction card that I can't remember the name, that costs 8 mana if you do everything, and the things are all creatures lose all abilities from end of turn, and then you give a creature indestructible, and then you destroy all creatures. I can't remember the name of the fucking card. I can picture it. I can see it in my mind, but not the name. Anyway, to do everything costs 8. Route costing 7. 7. If I play as an instant, is kind of the same, and I'm going to keep it. Somebody was asking about my Bloomborough policy, where I'm not buying any cards after Bloomborough. That's my cutoff set. That's the last set that I'm going to engage with. Except now, the new Lorwyn set. Oh, there's so many beautiful cards. And there's one card specifically that would be perfect for this deck. Just absolutely, if I don't put it in this deck I'm building, all of you are going to say, you're an idiot. Just put it in the deck and suck it up. So I'll have to do that. But anyway, I'm going to keep running this old card because I like the Ron Spencer art. I like the fact that it's nostalgic for me. And until that Thunder Junction card came out, there was nothing else that really did this. Instant Wrath of God. Even though it costs a lot of mana. So keep that in there. And it goes back to this being Wrath of God deck. Because I can spend 7, route at instant speed, and if I've got Dauntless Escort, if I've got Cauldron of Souls, my team doesn't suffer. Flare of Fortitude, 2 double white, in theory. Actually, sacrifice a non-token white creature, and until end of turn, your life total can't change, and your stuff gains hexproof and indestructible. All your stuff. Planeswalkers, hey, it's Comrade Lexodonsky. So Comrade Lexodonsky here, he's another legacy card. He's another card that's in the deck because he's always been in the deck. And I thought about taking him out, but I would feel like I'm betraying him because he's always been in the deck. And specifically this Russian version. So 2 colors, green, white. He's a 4/4 Rhino. I believe he's a monk. I know he's a Rhino. I can't remember his other creature type because it doesn't matter. It doesn't. When he comes to play, you gain 4 life. You spend green, white, and regenerate all your other creatures. Now that said, you probably see the problem. Megiddo the Lion, Route, both of those say the creatures can't be regenerated. So Comrade Lexodonsky cannot save my team against those cards. But still, he comes to play again for life, and he's always been in the deck, and he's cool looking, so he stays. You have my Hollow. This is starting to go up. It's now, to get one in decent condition on Magic Card Market, you're going to have to spend about 65 euros, including shipping. So they're going up. But if you don't have one, and you have a deck with green, get one. Skip your next precon. Just skip the next and get a Yavimaya Hollow. Put it in a green deck. And when it works for you, you'll thank me. Spend 1 green, regenerate target creature. And again, you can use it politically. If one of your opponents is being attacked, you can say, hey, I'll give this guy that can block regeneration to save his ass, but you owe me one. And see how it goes. Windswept Teeth. Johnny Goldmane. Another Planeswalker that nobody plays anymore. 2 colors, white, white, 4 loyalty to start. +1, you gain 2 life. Yeah. Neg1, put a +1/+1 counter on all your creatures, and they gain vigilance until end of turn. Neg6 is irrelevant because I've never done it, because I keep doing the Neg1. I keep putting +1/+1 counters on my dudes. So 1 turn, they all get +1/+1 counters. Next turn, I gain 2 life, so I pump them back up. It's cycle it from there. So I never get to that Neg6. I'm not even going to read what it does. Opal Palace. Taps for colorless. 1 tap. Add 1 color and add 1 mana of any color. Commander's color identity. If you use it to cast your commander, she comes into play an additional +1/+1 counter equal to the number of times she's been cast this game. Nova Blast Worm. Comrade Loxodonsky will save my team from the Nova Blast Worm. 3 colorless, double green, double white, 7/7. Whenever she attacks, destroy all other creatures. So, Comrade Loxodonsky, being able to regenerate them all, he can save my creatures from her. Now keep in mind, it's an attack trigger, not a damage trigger. So she attacks, and unless your opponent has a creature with indestructible, they have no blockers. They're getting hit for 7. Plains, Bonder's Enclave, 3 tap, draw a card, only if you control a creature power 4 or greater, which is not hard in this deck, as you've seen. Kitchen Finks. What is this on it? Some stuff on the sleeve. Huh. Anyway. 1 double green, double white hybrid for 3/2 oof. Comes into play, you gain 2 life. And it's got persist. And you can see I've got a lot of ways of taking off the -1/-1 counters. So it just keeps on giving. Acidic Slime. 3 double green, 2/2 death touching ooze. When it comes to play, blow up an artifact, enchantment, or land. Hymn of Rebirth. Another card that probably a lot of you have never seen. It's an old card from Ice Age. It got reprinted though. I'm pretty sure it got reprinted. I don't know if it has the same art. And yes, there are more efficient ways to do this. You could just play Resurrection. And instead of 3, 1 green, 1 white, you pay 2 colorless, double white. And it's the same card. Take any creature from... Oh no, Resurrection is only your graveyard, I believe. Oh wow, yeah. Okay, Resurrection, take any creature from your graveyard, put in play under your control. Hymn of Rebirth, take a creature from any graveyard, and put it in play under your control. So, extra utility. Temple Garden, secret lair version that cites Karametra. Eternal Witness, 1 double green for 2/1 human enchantment, comes into play, regrowth, bring something back from graveyard to your hand. Sword of Hearth and Home, 3 colorless, equip 2. Equip creature gets +2 protection, +2 protection from green and white. And whenever it hits somebody, whenever the equipped creature nails one of your opponents, exile up to 1 creature you control, and go search a library for a basic land. And then they both come into play in your control. So, untapped. So you can extra land, and you can flicker something, like an Eternal Witness, like a Harmonic Sliver, and just keep going from there. Cultivate, 2 and a green, go find 2 basic land cards, show them to everybody, put 1 into play tapped, the other in your hand. Croson Verge comes to play tapped, spend 2, tap it, go find a forest and a plains, put them into play tapped. Notice it doesn't say basic, so you can go find your shocklands, your land that comes into play, tapped, unless you have 2 or more basics, you can find that one. I forget what it is right now, I don't care. Wooded Bastion, green or white, filter it, so you can turn it to double green, double white, or 1 green, 1 white. Duplicant. Again, another card nobody plays anymore. 6 to cast, probably because he costs so much to cast. So 6 mana. Imprint, who comes into play, you may exile target non-token creature, and as long as the exiled card is a creature card, which... So if somebody casts copy artifact, and they copy a creature, if you duplicate the creature, the exiled card would stop being a creature and go back to being copy artifact. So that's how I'm thinking of the narrow reasons why this is worded the way it is. But anyway, as long as the exiled card remains a creature card, duplicate its creature's power, toughness, and creature types. None of its abilities, just power, toughness, creature types. And it stays a shapeshifter. Juniper Order Ranger. What does this guy do? He looks kind of shitty, doesn't he? 3 colors, 1 green, 1 white for a 2/4 human knight. No flying, no vigilance, no first strike, nothing. What the fuck? Whenever another creature comes to play under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, and a +1/+1 counter on Juniper Order Ranger. So let's say I have 6 creatures. He's one of them. I've got Cauldron of Souls. I give all my creatures persist and board wipe. They all come back into play and they all see each other. Right? So they all see each other. So all my other creatures, they get a +1/+1 counter which negates the persist, the neg-1/neg-1 that Cauldron of Souls is trying to stick on them. That's gone. And since 5 other creatures come into play, his +1/+1 counter, one of them, negates one of those so he gets +4/+4. He'll be a 6/8 at that point. So he's here, and he does work, and I like him. Mirari's Wake, 3 green white. I should get a little sign. Nobody plays this card anymore. I should have a pop-up. Nobody plays this card anymore. Just push a button and have it pop up. Nobody plays Mirari's Wake anymore. Because it doesn't do anything when it comes into play. You spend 5 mana, so 3 green and white. Creatures you control get +1/+1. So maybe the Anthem, the +1/+1, is important when it comes into play. Other than that, if you're casting it out on curve, you probably don't have any of the lands to tap for it. Whenever you tap a land for mana, you add 1 mana of that type produced. So if you tap a plains, you get an additional white. It doubles your land production, your mana production from your lands. But if you cast it out on curve on turn 5 and you've got 5 lands, well, you can't make use of that, and somebody will probably blow it up. Maybe. But anyway, it works out pretty good here. Selnesya Signet, another mana rock, 2 colors, spend 1. It's Sungrass Prairie. It's a mana rock Sungrass Prairie. That's what it is. You spend 2 colors and you get a fucking Sungrass Prairie. Plains, Nykthos, Reliquaire de Nyx. So a French Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx. 2, tap, choose a color. Add your mana pool and amount of mana equal to your devotion to that color. In this deck, this can provide a lot of mana. This can be really spicy. I like it. In fact, I don't think I have any single or 2 color decks that do not have a Nykthos. I can't think of, well, except for my 1 rare deck. But I think all the other ones have one. Because it's just that good. Archon of Justice, 3 double white. 4/4 flyer. When he dies, exile target permanent. And remember, this is this is a Wrath of God deck. So he's going to die. And then he's going to come back. Because, like I said, the graveyard, Cauldron of Souls, the creature still goes to the graveyard. So he will still die. You get to exile a permanent, and then he'll come back. It's a 3/3, unless you've got one of the many, many ways of taking that counter off, and then he'll be a 4/4 again. Karma Guide. 3 double white for a 2/2 Spirit, protection from black and Echo, which kind of sucks, but she's got a great ability. When she comes into play, choose a creature in your graveyard and put it right back into play. Wood Elves, 2 and a green for a 1/1 elf. When it comes into play, go find a forest and put that forest into play. Then shuffle. It comes into play untapped, and it can be a dual land. It can be that. It can be a shock land. It can be a triumph. If you're playing 3 colors and you've got triumphs, then what else can find the triumph? Of course, then that'll come into play tap because that's just what it does. Crop rotation. 1 green. When you play it, sacrifice land. Go find a land card, put it in play, shuffle after. So if I take out the crop rotation and Ancient Tomb, then this goes from bracket 4 back down to bracket 3, which is where I want to be. Voice of All. I just have her in here because I like her in here. There's probably other things I could play that are better than her. But it is kind of cool. So 2 colorless, white, 2/2 Flying Angel. When it comes to play, choose a color. She gets protection from that chosen color. So if she dies and I bring her back, I can choose a different color. So it's mutable depending on the board position, depending on what's going on at the time. That said, there are probably at least 6 cards in here that I could take out for something better or more efficient. But I don't really need to, because Sigarda works. She works, she's very effective, does what she needs to do. That's it. This is from the mail call that I posted yesterday. I'm recording it on the same day, but I'll post this video tomorrow. So if I take out crop rotation, which, okay, so this is here to instantly get the cradle, instantly get one of the other lands. But I also have Knight of the Reliquary, and if I get Yavimaya Cradle of Growth down, then if I have Knight of the Reliquary, then at instant speed I can sacrifice any land and go find another land. Of course, if she's in play, I can just sacrifice a forest, which is what I would do anyway. If I have crop rotation, I will tap a basic forest, get a green, sacrifice it, and go get Cradle or Yavimaya Hollow or something like that. So I'll take out crop rotation. I'll put in Sylvan Scrying. So now she has 4 game changers. I said I wasn't going to do any changes, didn't I? But I might as well, so you can see the process. You can see my thinking. You can see how the deck evolves. So it's evolving now, not because I want to. I would like to keep these cards in there, but I also don't want to leave it at bracket 4 and have any kind of hard feelings, because I already am running Cradle. I already am going to kill everybody's creatures, and mine are going to survive. So I'll take out Ancient Tomb, and I'll put in... Either I will put in something that produces green-white. I don't have an extra Savannah. I don't. I only own 1 copy of Savannah, and it's in Kestia. So maybe I should put in something that gives me colored mana, because I have a lot of lands here that produce colorless, a lot. So that might be the better option. And I could put in something funny. I could put in Rainbow Veil to have another political card. I could put in Reflecting Pool. I don't have a Reflecting Pool in here anymore because it's only 2 colors. I could put in my Riftstone Portal. Riftstone Portal is a land from Planeshift, and if it's in your graveyard, all your lands produce green or white. So all your lands become savannas. So Brushland would become Savannah. Canyon Serpenton would become Savannah. Of course, the only way I have of reliably getting that into my graveyard would be Knight of the Reliquary, or just discarding it because I have too many cards at the end of the turn. I don't have anything else. Yes, I do. Okay. Riftstone Portal. So I'm going to take out Ancient Tomb and put my Riftstone Portal back in. I had taken it out because I didn't have... That's right. I took out Riftstone Portal because it did not have a reliable way of introducing it into the graveyard except Knight of the Reliquary or Crop Rotation. And then I put in Sylvan Safekeeper. So Sylvan Safekeeper, Knight of the Reliquary, either of those can cause me to sacrifice Riftstone Portal. So it would have been in my graveyard. Okay, that's what I'll do. Ancient Tomb for the Portal. So what do you think? Lrowser, I hope this helped you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If there's any new cards, newer cards, because again it is a 10-year-old deck, that you think should be in here but are not, let me know what these are. But of course, as always, if you recommend an exclusion, you have to recommend the deduction. It's a zero-sum game. If a card goes in, a card has to go out. So if you recommend me putting in a card, I'd like to know what you would recommend me taking out, so I can see your thoughts. I can get some more ideas. Cheers.